Hello.
And
Welcome
to
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome, people, to episode 494 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
I've got massive first world problems. I've now got 2 MacBooks, one for work, one for personal use, that look exactly the fucking same. And it's really confusing.
You got to put like a little dot on one.
I'm gonna have to put like some stickers or something on one of them because I nearly took the wrong laptop to work with me this morning.
yeah, you don't want to do that and have to just go, oh, I forgot to sit both.
Yeah, quite. Ian Loring, hi.
And Rebecca will be joining us shortly. She's just on her way home from work, so it might be, we might one of those shows where we do the bulk of the show and then do the main review towards the end, which is different to how we normally do it. But let's see how these things go. What do we have this week? Well, it's here. Fast 10 is here. We've long been champions of Uncle Vin's franchise, and the 10th and final instalment, apart from the next 2, is here at our door finally, and we're gonna delve into and see what we thought of that bad boy, as well as the other what we've been up to, and other bits.
But just to say, we won't be covering Beau is Afraid.
No,
I couldn't make it. I just couldn't make it work. That film is too long to kind of make work when there's fuck all show times.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I think that's the issue when you've got super long films that you don't need to program in for an entire day. It's when do you program them? So they end up being programmed sort of mid to late afternoon and late evening, and I think, like you said, Ian, with it being a film that we're all, I think, curious about but not exactly pumped for, getting out of that bad boy between sort of 11 and 12 at night just doesn't feel like something I want to do.
No, 10 past 4 and 10 past 8 here, which basically means any non-weekday is the only day I could do it, and then I just couldn't do it on Saturday and Sunday,
which is
10 past 4 and 10 past 8. Awful times.
Yeah, if it was like a 10 past 6 or 10 past 7 there, yeah.
10 past 6 would be fine. Yeah, 10 past 7 I'd stretch to it.
Yeah, like at the moment it's showing, for instance today it's showing at 7 o'clock at the Parkway around the corner. I could have gone to see it on Monday at midday, but then also as well I'd just done an overnight 14-hour shift, so
yeah. But anyway, obviously we will talk about Beau is Afraid on the show at some point.
I think our plan is to when it does become available via video on demand, I think our plan is to do a little mini Astor marathon and have Jordan on, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah. So we've taken a problem and we've created a wonderful solution.
Indeed.
Yes. I did get to 2 other new films this week, however.
Oh wow!
Not cinema films, so I didn't get out there. But I did also watch White Men Can't Jump and Maybe I Do.
So I completely forgot that White Men Can't Jump came out.
Well, I will get into them later on because 2 interesting films is what I would say there, and slightly different to what I was expecting from both of them. Surprising in both ways is what I will say there on those. I'll get into them more later on. Maybe I Do was a big surprise, to be honest, but yeah. So yeah, what's happened at Cannes has happened, hasn't it?
Yeah. Cannes has happened. Well, it's happening. So, Killers of the Flower Moon, apparently great, obviously. Todd Haynes' new one, May December, with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman's, landed fairly well.
Yeah.
Asteroid City, people seem to be saying it's Wes Anderson's best in a while, but it was Grand Budapest wasn't that many films ago, but it was like 9 years ago, so I suppose fair play. Doesn't seem to have been too many absolute stinkers so far. The Johnny Depp one that opened it seemed to meet pretty meh reaction. But yeah, I did find it very funny that at the opening press conference for Cannes, they were talking about like kind of like Me Too and like social issues and whatnot. And like Terry Fremeau, the guy who leads it up, I'm paraphrasing, but was like, you know, don't come then. If you're that bothered about what films are showing at Cannes, don't come. But all I hear is you lot complaining about how you can't get a ticket for X, and then when you're in these conferences, then you're asking these questions. And yeah, I think that's a fair point. You see, or at least I do, equal parts tweets about the films at Cannes and tweets about how much of a pain in the arse it is being at Cannes.
Yeah,
and you know, I have to watch Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which actually has turned out to be the one, maybe Turkey.
Yeah.
I have to see it at 8:30 in the morning. Woe is me.
Fucking hell. Honestly, if I was at a film festival, right, and one of the principal films that was like one of the fun principal films, right, was showing at 8:30 in the morning, oh man, I'd be in bliss. I would be there going. Sorry. I would be loving strolling along with you and Noel, Jordan, whoever. My brain's going back to fucking Fright Fest eras with a bit of a hangover, strolling along at fucking 8 in the morning, all of us with a coffee going, do you know what? Indiana Jones is right what I need, so if you can just give me a little bit of a perk, just sit down, have a coffee, and let like a little bit of nostalgia wash over me.
I was in a queue at LFF a couple years ago at 7:30 in the morning for The Power of the Dog. And I was absolutely fine with doing that.
Yep.
And then I watched Asghar Farhadi's A Hero at 10:30 in the morning. Years ago at LFF, maybe my first one, I watched an adaptation of Dr. Faustus at 10 in the morning. I think it was like Belgium.
I think at the Edinburgh Film Festival, I think I watched Brave at 8 in the morning, and I had to get there at like 7 to queue to get into it. And it was fine.
It just... there are many. I don't know how people who write about film and talk about film for a living make a living. I don't know how those folks do it. They seem to make it work. Good on them. You've got a lot of enterprising folks who do podcasts and Patreons and things like that, as well as kind of like getting some print work every now and then. So I get it. I get that, you know, it probably costs a lot of money for people to go to Cannes, but at the same time, you're going to Cannes to write about and watch films.
The other thing is to play, and I agree with you, by the way, but then again, there is a devil's advocate to play with this, in the sense of, at the end of the day, it does become... even if you love doing it and it's a dream job, at the end of the day, it does become work. And I have a friend who, for instance, is a football writer. And he said, like, for the first 2 years, he loved it. He still loves it, but he does occasionally get a thing where he's having to travel back from Spain, having just watched like a Champions League game at 2 in the morning, so he can get up and do a meeting at 8 o'clock the next morning. And he says, he said to me before, I can feel myself sort of about to start complaining about it, and then having to remind myself, but do you know what? Didn't pay for my ticket. I got to watch this amazing game. And I get to travel around like the world watching football and chatting about football and writing about football. It's just, but occasionally it is a job.
It's
weird.
The sense I get though is the fact that the reason why they're complaining it's 8:30 in the morning is because they were out drinking the night before, and they're hungover and had 4 or 5 hours sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, but if okay, absolutely, like spend your evenings doing what you want to do, but let's not pretend that. As well as it being work, it's also a massive fucking jolly for a lot of people as well.
That would be where the other devil's advocate would come into it, in the sense of, look, if there's an element of it's work, that's where your professionalism's got to kick in. So even if you are at fucking Cannes, there's all these great parties and everything like that, and you know you've got to be up for a screening that you've got to watch and you've got to write about as part of your job. Unfortunately, you've got to go, do you know what, I can have a couple of drinks, but I've got to be in bed for this time so I can be fresh to do this. There's an element of all of that you have to put in to it. In the same sense, in the same just random sense of, occasionally I have to get up for my job, which is not as fun as going to Cannes and watching films. But occasionally I have to get up at like 4 in the morning to set off for 4:30 in the morning to get to work there. So I know the night before that the fun time I get is cut short. I'd love to be able to just go, fuck it. And I know that I can't have a drink the night before that. I don't drink a lot midweek anyway, but I know that I can't there, because I then run the risk of having one drink and it becoming 2 drinks, becoming 3 drinks, and then I run the risk of having that hazy feeling where alarm number 1 goes off, I turn it off, alarm number 2 goes off, and my brain thinks that was still alarm number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I was on a rail replacement bus at 5 to 6 this morning. And but I check my privilege with, I don't have to go into the office every day. My manager has to drive from Bristol to Cardiff every time he comes into the office. And so it's like, I just, instead of complaining about it, I'm thinking about it in perspective. And I get, in the moment, people want to tweet that they're annoyed that they've got to go watch the new Indiana Jones at 8:30 in the morning. But also, hey, you know what, bud? You're seeing the new Indiana Jones like a good 6 weeks before anybody else.
Yeah, it all falls back to the thing, I think, where a lot of the time, do you remember when Kermode used to constantly sort of basically brag about the fact that he wouldn't go to Cannes because it's shit, and all it is people complaining about the fact that they're at Cannes.
Yeah. I mean, like, that it's a shame he's not as kind of culturally relevant these days. Like, fair play to him, he fucked off Twitter when Elon Musk bought it. He's got that podcast, but don't really see anyone talking about him anymore. But the dude made some fucking good points.
Yeah,
and
I think I haven't listened to any of the Kermode stuff for quite a while. I met him a few times and always enjoyed my conversations with him.
Yeah, as have I. And when I was looking at writing that Sunshine book back in the day, he was very, very helpful and put me in touch with Dr. Brian Cox's partner, who worked on Sunshine. Genuinely lovely dude. I had a weird Twitter spat with him at one point, but we buried that hatchet. He probably doesn't even fucking know who I am at this point, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, that kind of old guard of like film journos and whatnot kind of feels like it's getting superseded. But thankfully by women, like the 2 women who do the Radio 5 film stuff now, Rhiannon Dillon and Emily Murray, are great. And like, that's I'd love to see that. Let's have more of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Has anything else happened in the movie world this week?
So, a very, very funny thing.
Go on.
Deadpool 3 has started production.
That was today, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, but because of the writers' strike, there can be no improvisation.
There can be no improv?
Nope.
Oh.
It's got to be locked down what the script was.
So you're going to get that they're going to very much probably go, right, we need to film the set pieces now and then film all of the other bits when we maybe hopefully can put these bits into it.
That, or if he's got his face covered up most of the time, just ADR shit.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, obviously the other characters that, like, impacts, but, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Let's see how long this thing goes on.
Well, yeah, and Joaquin Phoenix and Rooney Mara were due to start shooting a film, and that's had to be cancelled. But because, what was it? The Actors Union are potentially striking in July, and the Bond company ensuring the production withdrew and said they no longer felt that they could ensure the production. So Phoenix and Mara have had to travel home, and it's basically been put on ice. So this is the next thing that's coming through now, is the fact that the fucking actors have got a deal that I think expires on the 1st of July.
Ooh, fucking hell.
But I don't know. It just, like, gotta be careful. AI. I know we've talked about AI several times, but it's a fucking it. Believe me, it's a fucking buzzword. But it's. I think it is making people feel a little bit. Well, yeah, we got to stand our ground, but at the same time, you know, like the longer. So there's this marketing professor that I follow and listen to, Scott Galloway. He does the Pivot podcast, which is fucking fantastic, with Kara Swisher, and he does his own podcasts as well. And he was saying, and this actually got a lot of shit, but he was saying that the writer's strike is like the best thing that could happen to the studios at the moment, because everyone's like looking to kind of like cut down on costs and things like that. And basically they're shutting down all these productions and just coasting by on their licensed content. Netflix have got so many fucking international arms that they can keep pumping out stuff that's not affected by the writer's strike in America, and they'll be all right. And it's the same for like all these fucking streamers, you know. So it's like there's a case of, at the moment, it is just saving them money, and they'll still be able to produce content. So you do have this push-pull now of, yes, writers need to be paid adequately in a new age, and there do need to be guardrails against the use of AI, which is trained on pre-existing material, because that's the sticking point. You know, you've got an AI that is fed the screenplays of 100 different films and then is able to write screenplays. Well, what about the people who wrote those screenplays that trained the model?
Yeah, because there's also an argument, isn't there, currently about streaming residuals. I think is another one that is there, that you've had a lot of writers who essentially have been living off residuals, which is not a criticism, but they're living off residuals for such a long time. But now the streaming residuals rather than the syndicated residuals are such a fraction of them that of the value that they're trying to up the negotiations for that, and that's kind of part of it, from what I understand from what I was reading about. Which it's often with this, the headlining points are often the actual smaller points. It's the minutiae of these contracts and the minutiae of these ideas that are there that you have to be very inside baseball to be getting around.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the writer's strike and whatnot, not much is really being... Oh, well. Deadline breaking news. Liam Neeson action sequel Ice Road 2 heading to Amazon for around $17 million in biggest deal thrashed out at this year's Cannes market so far. Jesus Christ. Road 2, Road to the Sky.
17 million. Right? That literally is somebody at Amazon got hammered. Liam Neeson came out, was hammered with them and went, I've got a fucking idea for you. And they come out and went, Ice Road. And the guy's going, I love it. Great. And she's gone, 2. He's gone, I don't even know there's a fucking first. I'll buy it. We covered it.
Yeah. During the dark times. What's the fucking logline for this? This time swapping out the ice road's harsh climbs of northern Canada for the similarly inhospitable mountains of Nepal. In the sequel, Neeson returns as big rig ice road driver Mike McCann, who, honouring his late brother's last wish, travels to Nepal to scatter his ashes on Mount Everest. While on a packed tour bus traversing the deadly 12,000-foot terrain of the infamous Road to the Sky, McCain and his mountain guide encounter a group of Nepalese mercenaries and must fight not only to save themselves and the bus load of innocent travellers, but also the lost local villagers' homeland.
God, no.
Jonathan Hensley is going to be doing it. Yeah, like he did the first one.
I'll watch it.
I mean, I'll watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Wasn't he supposed to be done?
Yeah. Oh, what?
With this stuff?
Oh, Liam Neeson, yeah, he's constantly doing this stuff, and then nobody rings him about anything else, so he decides to do it again. He did that one about his wife dying of cancer, was it?
Yeah.
Last year? And nobody watched it, so he's gone, fuck it. Ice Truckers 2, let's go for it. Do we have any other news, or should we skip to trailers?
Let's skip to trailers.
Right. What trailers have you been watching then?
So, and I'll stop typing now. And just to say that last point, I asked a question, and like people were like, "What the fuck are you asking that for?" And I was just like, "'Cause I'm interested." So yeah. Anyway, right. Okay. Trailers. I don't know. What has there been?
There has been some, yeah.
So yeah, there's a new trailer, the final trailer for The Flash. You know, it's just like let's just fucking go. Let's just have it now. All right.
I am very much, the more I see of The Flash, the less I want to watch the film. So stop showing me bits of it, because there's bits in that trailer where I look at it and go, "How have you had this long, spent that much money to make a movie that special effects look that shit?" It looks like a computer game, but computer games look better than that now. It's honestly, it just, I just want it to have been and have happened, and so they can finally announce who's going to be the new fucking Superman, and we can all just get on with moving along.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the only other one I can actually see. Oh well, hang on. Killers of the Flower Moon. Obviously, that was after we recorded last week. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just say very quickly, The Color Purple. That trailer, I've got no idea what that film's about, apart from two sisters being sisters.
There was a couple of trailers that I outright turned one off, like 30 seconds into it, going, nope. Colour Purple I got through, but I was pretty bored while I was watching it. I started watching the trailer for Theatre Camp and turned it off 30 seconds into it, because I just thought, I'm never going to watch this, I don't even need to know it exists.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll probably watch it, and I like me a musical as well. So, and this is like a musical adaptation of it. So, you know, why not? I do feel like I'm becoming as old as dust when it's like at the end, it's like written by blah blah blah, directed by blah blah blah, and I'm just like, who? And they're obviously some like young up and comers or something, and it's just like I genuinely have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, it does start to happen a little bit. I was a little bit like that with Problem Easter. Which, as I was watching that, I was going, this looks like something 15, 20 years ago I'd have been like, this looks fucking interesting. And now I'm looking at it going, I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered. Why aren't I watching Ice fucking Road 2?
I mean, I'm having that kind of question about a lot of cinema these days. Just I don't know. Just I've said this kind of stuff a lot, but there's so much playing at Cannes where I'm just like, nah, mate, you're all right.
But yeah, I get it. The thing is, I'm still loving watching movies. It's just I'm in a phase at the moment where I'm like, I don't need to know what the next new fucking hip thing is, because I don't need to be hip anymore.
No, I am 100% embracing my I'm 40 next year. I like what I like.
Yeah. And I'm that. In saying that though, but then again, that the Creator trailer that landed last week, I think.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Because I think I talked about it, but then
yeah, it
like
just
you guys
landed,
haven't seen
yeah.
it.
I think that looks fucking great. Like,
doesn't it? Though?
Genuinely, a shot up to possibly being up there as one of my most anticipated films of the year.
Yeah, it looks real interesting.
Just real high concept sort of. High concept sci-fi, but that has got a good cast, good director, looks fucking great as well, and yeah, very much up for that. It's a fucking cracking trailer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on old Gareth Edwards.
Yes.
So hey, look, Killers of the Flower Moon. I'll say I think it's an interesting trailer. It's not one that compels me to watch it, but everything else about it compels me to watch it. I don't know what I mean. Hey, what did you think to the trailer? Taking away the Scorsese of it all.
Taking away the Scorsese of it all, I think it's It seems like a film that's going to have shit to say, but I don't think it's going to smash you over the head with it. It reminded me an awful lot of, and part of it is setting and era, but there's a strong There Will Be Blood vibe to it. That you get off it, where you're going to be essentially told about, look, this is part of how America was formed, but not specifically talking about this is how America was formed, but this is how white America started to be formed, and it ain't fucking pretty. And apparently that's it. Apparently it is, from a lot of the reviews, and I think in the same way as I would say. When somebody said about the fact that to me that and I mentioned that Asteroid City was getting really good word out of Cannes, my brain instantly went, well, of course it is. It's Cannes and it's a Wes Anderson film. But I didn't do the same thing with Killers of the Flower Moon, so I have to kind of check my bias a little bit and go, but of course, the Scorsese one epic got a rousing applause at Cannes. It's a Scorsese film, and with his age and everything like that, every film is the possibility that it could be his last. And did you see what he was talking? What he was saying the other day? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fucking heartbreaking.
It is, yeah. For anyone who hasn't seen this, Scorsese was basically saying that. Somebody asked him about sort of creativity at his age, and he was basically saying, that he's sad because he feels like he's got all of this creativity and there's all of these stories to tell and there's all of these new ways to tell stories, and he just doesn't have enough time left to tell them. That he's going to run out of time, and it is just like, wow, for a guy who's in his 80s who has been doing this for touching 50 years. To still not only have the ideas and the verve for it, but to actually look at it and go, I'm sad that I am not going to be able to do all of the things that I wanted to fucking do. It's almost a little bit of a fucking, biting of the thumb to what fucking Tarantino keeps bleating on about with his, which I think is now slightly performative from him, of the I'm cutting it at 10, I feel directors aren't as creative, like all this lot, which I feel is something that he said 20 years ago that he's now stuck with and he's doubling down on. And Scorsese's there going, man, I wish I had another 40 years ahead of me. The films I could fucking make.
And actually, that reminds me, like, because I know we were talking about it on WhatsApp yesterday, but it's like I'm kind of intrigued as to what like listeners might think, and feel free to at me. Video Archives podcast, Tarantino and Avery, they're doing a couple of episodes celebrating the life of Rick Dalton after he passed away last week, or a couple of weeks back. Obviously he's not a real person. Roger Avery in talking about his experiences with Rick Dalton, talks about his own real world incarceration. For those who don't know, he was convicted of manslaughter for drunk driving and killing someone, if memory serves. That's right, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. And he said that while he was incarcerated, he just, like, Rick Dalton had a company that manufactured products for prisons, so he just saw, like, Dalton Manufacturing Company on everything and cursed his name. And they're laughing and joking about it. And it's just a bit... Mate, if you were in prison for, like, I don't know, getting caught with a bunch of weed on you or something, maybe fair enough. Don't make jokes about your prison time when you fucking killed someone.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a bad taste, really. You don't need to do this.
You could think of another story.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit. What does that make him think about? I mean, obviously, it's a different person's mind and whatnot, but I don't know what makes you think it's okay to use that experience to tell a very frivolous pretend story about. It bothered me. It really, really bothered me.
Yeah, I think it does. It's the insensitivity of it all, and it's a little bit of the thoughtlessness. Because I get the feeling if somebody actually sort of said to him, dude, do you think he probably would, or you'd hope that he would go, ooh, it's a good point that.
But it's like Tarantino engages with it. His daughter engages with it.
But
there's nobody, the show.
I think often some of the criticisms for Tarantino, and we're all, I think both of us and Becky, if she was here, we're all Tarantino fans. But I think one of the things that has often been cited, and it's one of the kind of the criticisms of where you have people who don't get on with Tarantino that I do mildly agree with, is that sometimes he doesn't have people to go, no, and rein him in a little bit. That he's there, and I think the Sally Menke apparently used to be a little bit like that with him. But I agree. It's a little bit tactless.
Yeah, quite. Anyway.
But yeah, I think I think it's a very good trailer. I don't think it's an absolute. For instance, Creator is a better trailer than Killers of the Flower Moon. But it does have that that repeating of the line, "Can you spot the wolves in this picture?" Is interesting. It's going to be intriguing. Apparently, again, but it's pinch of salt because it's a Cannes audience. There, apparently, you do not feel how long the film is, which is quite nice to hear when it's touching 4 hours.
Yep. Good. Yep. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously.
Yes, very, very much so. What else? I think that's about it. I'm trying to remember if there's anything I saw in the cinema trailer-wise that was different. No, I think it was literally just the usuals that we're getting now. Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, and there was another one, which I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so what have you been up to this week, Ian?
Okay, so I know a few things I can talk about. I watched a couple films, but I'll say I played 5 or 6 hours of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on PlayStation 5.
Nice.
Which it is available on PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium for subscribers now. And a lot of reviews say it's like playing a Pixar movie. It's not in terms of the content. It's kind of more like your standard kind of like video gamey adventure fare. But it don't half fucking look good. Jesus Christ. That's a pretty game. That is a pretty game. And it's there's a good sense of fun about it as well. One of the weapons you get is like the topiary something or other. And you just shoot it and it just turns enemies into fucking grass and plants for a few seconds. But then, like, if you shoot it and miss, then grass and stuff just starts sprouting around the environment as you're playing. And I don't know, I think that's quite charming, actually.
Yeah, I can see that. The thing is, it's just a mild tangent. We're talking about games and gaming. I downloaded, because I've got PlayStation Platinum Plus, whatever it is, where it gets me access to loads of games, even if I don't fucking play games. But I what I'll occasionally do is I'll download a couple of games that I'm intrigued by, to sort of have a little bit of a test, sort of like give them half an hour and see if I'm still playing at 31 minutes from there, because that's usually a good fucking test for me. So I tried Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, I was about to talk about that, but go on.
Really wanted to play as because I wanted to play as Rambo.
Yeah.
But it's not there on the downloadable content. It's downloadable content, and it isn't there on the PS Plus Platinum one. It isn't there.
It was on. I bought it. I bought the expansion pass thing with the expansion, but also the Rambo character and RoboCop and whatnot.
Yeah,
it was like $7.99. I think the sale ends today.
Yeah, I looked at buying it and thought, I don't want to pay for something that I'll probably turn off after like 15 minutes. So I just thought,
fuck off! It would be for $7.99, man. You could kick people's asses as Rambo.
So I thought I'll give it a go.
I bet his fatality's glorious.
I thought I'll give it a go and see what I think. Honestly, I got halfway through one fight and went, I just know there's too many buttons, and so I turned it off and deleted it. What else did I download? I downloaded the PlayStation 3. This is going somewhere, by the way. I downloaded the PlayStation 3 Ghostbusters game.
Right, yeah.
Got about quarter of an hour into that and went, nope, can't be fucking bothered. Fuck you, fucking Jason Reitman, and fucking turned it off and deleted it. And then I finished work. I got to town to meet Becky at her work, but she didn't finish for quite a while. And I was walking down to go and just sort of sit in the car at Becky's work and just kind of like just chill out. And there's like a retro gaming shop just up the road from where Becky works. And I went into it, and I was looking through like all of these Master System games, and I thought, this is where I could get into gaming. Is just like, I had hold of a copy of I believe it might be Master System, it might be Mega Drive actually, of Earthworm Jim, and I thought, do you know what? I could get into the idea of doing this, and I looked at how much it was, and I thought, it's £36.
Yeah.
Fuck off. And then I asked the guy, I was like, dude, how much for like a Master System setup? With like a couple of games and a couple of controllers, and can I play it on my normal TV? And he was really cool about it. He was like, you need this adapter and this, and it plugs into this and that's it, and it'll slam into your HDMI. And I was like, all right, cool. Look all right. It was like, I mean, it's going to be boxy, but it's going to look better than it would have done on your ECRT TV 30 years ago. I was like, all right, cool. And how much was all that going to set you back? I went, probably about 130, 140 pounds. I was like, I thought,
something in it.
For a curiosity. I was like, okay, cool. And he went, mate, I get that look like 3-4 times a day from someone who's expected to spend like 30 quid and coming here and it's like over 100 quid. And I was like, yeah, I just like I thought if you'd have said anything under like 50, I might have gone, do you know what? Fuck it, why not? Regretted it at like 9 o'clock tonight when I got bored, but been alright with it. And he's like, yeah, no, it ain't cheap. I just thought, fucking hell. The amount, like 10, 15 years ago when I used to go to Car Boots to pick up like £1 DVDs, because they were a fucking gold mine for it back then, I would see so many Master Systems and Mega Drives for like £4.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I might just keep fucking doing that. I might just keep trawling, because you will see it. You do see some random shit. There's a massive Car Boot that is just up the road from us, where me and Becky will occasionally go because there's a decent book shop that isn't like, that's more than just like it's like a bookstall rather than just like some random fucking people selling books that Becky gets books from. And I'm just going to keep my eye out there, because at some point I'm going to pick up like a fucking Master System or Mega Drive from fucking someone that's fucking died, for like a tenner.
That's something.
So yeah, but then a mate of mine said, I missed a mate of mine about it, and he mentioned to him, look, just fucking buy a Raspberry Pi, get it sent to my house, and I will load up every fucking Mega Drive, SNES, Master System, all of these games to it that you can play. Plug it in the back of your TV, it sits there, you can play it on a wireless controller and all this stuff. And I was like, but I don't get the tactical thing of fucking shoving a cartridge into a thing. I was like, yeah, but for like less than like £80 you can have everything. It's like, but that's not what I want. Which makes no sense. And I apologise for interrupting midway through you. What is it?
No, please. It was good. But yeah, so I did actually play a few hours of Mortal Kombat 11 as well. The trailer for Mortal Kombat 1, confusingly, last week, kind of like got me thinking I probably need to have a go at that. It's just very, very silly. Like, a dumb feels almost kind of like harsh, just like fantastical nonsense.
Fantastical nonsense is very accurate, yeah.
And you watch cutscenes for like 5-10 minutes, and then you have a fight, and it's like, yeah, that'll do. I'm fine with that. And the fights are just, they're great. It's so gory. It's really, really quite something. And I love it. I'll probably play through the whole of that story mode, and then I'll buy Mortal Kombat 1 when it comes out, and I'll play through the whole of that story mode. They're just very, very silly, entertaining games. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank's great as well. Still haven't played any more Zelda. I mean, I've sold it, so I wouldn't have. But anyway, who knows what may happen though. Sometimes I get the itch for it. Sometimes I like no, especially with some of the stuff that Noel's been saying. So
yes, Noel seems like he's stared into the abyss of Zelda and went, "Oh, I might just go a little bit further."
little bit, and then he's going to set fire to his Switch. So yeah, there's that. In terms of films, so we talked about Stallone a couple of weeks back. So I watched ICU.
Oh, fuck yes.
Which is great because on Netflix it's called ICU, but the print that they've got calls it Detox. Yeah. So well done, Netflix. Detox I think is like the UK title. ICU is kind of like the international title. So story is
for listeners, it's not I as in I as well. It's I as in your eye. CU.
Yeah, EYE-CU. Yeah. So Stallone plays a federal agent who used to be a copper. There's a bunch of cop killings going on, and he fails to stop one. And then at the crime scene, he gets a call. It's an incredible shot, actually, where Stallone and a bunch of other people are on one side of the room. And the phone rings, and someone picks it up, just looks in that direction and goes, "It's for you." And for some reason, everybody knows it's for Stallone. It's really funny. It just it's great. And it's the killer, and the killer then proceeds to kill his girlfriend, and I think he was planning on proposing to her.
Yes.
So he then kind of goes off the rails, drunky time, and is convinced to go to a detox center for like cops and law enforcement officials out in the middle of the nowhere, headed up by Chris Christopherson. But wouldn't you know it, one of the people in that detox center is the killer. I thought this was all right. It's directed by Jim Gillespie, who directed I Know What You Did Last Summer. I remember this being like ripped to shreds at the time, which kind of felt like just because everybody liked to take the piss out of Stallone.
It was during that time, certainly.
Yeah. I thought this was fine. Like it's not amazing, but it's got a great cast. Yeah, you got fucking Jeffrey Wright. Oh God, I'm having a real brain. Robert Patrick.
Yeah. Charles S. Dutton's in there.
Charles S. Dutton. Yeah, absolutely.
Stephen Lang, Tom Berenger.
Yeah, Stephen Lang, Tom Berenger, Chris Christopherson, and Courtney B. Vance.
Yep.
You know, among others. So it's like a really, really good cast. It kind of takes a little bit of a while to kind of like pick up a head of steam. Actually, there's quite a bit of like people talking about stuff and us just going, yeah, we know. We know the killer's followed you. Yeah, it's him. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do another scene. Okay, cool. Also, you can basically call out the killer when the film is introducing the cast of characters.
Yes. Yeah, you can a little bit. I think fairly certain Ron Howard did some of the pickups on it as well.
Oh, really? Yeah. Also, I will say the title sequence feels like a Mexican non-union equivalent 7.
It is, yeah.
But look, I mean, I think it's a straight down the line like 3 out of 5. If you're up for watching Stallone playing an like alcoholic copper looking to get revenge on the person who killed his wife in a slasher-esque setting,
it does get
I
quite
See You will do.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
get quite
it does.
And
it's got
fun production design.
I mean that's the thing. It looks like they threw some money at it. Like the sets are great. And because what was it? It was like an old missile command center that was then turned into an asylum, and now it's a detox center. So that's gonna have some fucking atmosphere to it, and it does. I thought this was fine. I thought it was absolutely fine. So I rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania because Donna hadn't seen it yet. Works better on the small screen.
Oh, nice.
But because it kind of feels like it's just a big budget TV episode, despite the fact that it probably cost like $200 million. And honestly, I think it works. It works better on the small screen where you can pause it and grab a drink and go for a piss.
I will definitely get to it, but I'm getting to it in like the slowest way a human can get to films.
Yeah, no, which is fair, and it does just feel insanely inconsequential and inessential, and which was Ant-Man kind of had that vibe of being like the antidote to like all the big stuff, but now it's just like, but now you're putting in Kang the Conqueror, but it still feels inconsequential. So what are you going for there? But again, 3 out of 5. I'll say definitely not shit. I would originally have said touching cloth.
I just don't think it's doing them any favours that the only movie of the past 2 years that anybody's liked has been Guardians 3.
No, yeah, quite. Okay, and I, in the spirit of Fast X, had another crack at Riddick.
Nice.
Yeah, Riddick. Kind of good. actually. I forgot the plot. Basically, I'd only seen it once in the cinema, but like the first 20-25 minutes is just Riddick dumped on this planet and kind of trying to figure out how to survive, like getting a pet dog and living life.
Yeah.
And then these two sets of mercenaries come to hunt him, but then there's like a bigger bad that they kind of all need to go up against. It's very in the style of Pitch Black, much less Chronicles of Riddick. There is some, I remember at the time this being questionable, but very questionable sexual politics about it all. Katie Sackhoff makes very clear that she doesn't fuck guys. And then Vin Diesel is talking about how by the end of it all, she'll ask him to fuck him real sweet like. And at the end, she does ask him that.
Yep.
There's some leeriness, like she's taking a shower at one point and he's kind of like looking at her. And it is a little bit, you're being horny, but in the wrong way here.
Yeah. It's a little bit, Vin, stop trying to prove you're straight to everybody. We get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible how... I was going to say he never has sexual like chemistry with the women on screen. I will say, because maybe Fast X, really, really up for just watching him and Michelle Rodriguez fuck.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll get to Fast X later on because Becky said something during Fast X to me in a cinema that made me do the full fucking, from the interview, James Franco fucking raising his neck back meme.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
That was in that.
Yeah, like that was. I was like, yeah, hey, Michelle Rodriguez, hey, hello. Yeah. So, but Riddick, it's fun. Geordie Mola is just such a great fucking dickhead.
that man plays fucking skis to a perfection.
Yeah, I mean, he does.
His performance in Blur is always something that is just a piece of wonderment.
Sure. Yeah, good character actor, that guy. Hakeem Woodbine's up in there. Dave Bautista not doing much because it was still pretty early for Dave Bautista, their actor. But I think it's fun. Maybe a shade too long, but and the sexual politics not too great. But aside from that, good contained action film. And that's me.
Oh, right, cool. Right, all right, fucking here we go then. I'm not sure how far Becky's away, but I'll start by I'll cover the ones that I watched without her, and then I'll start going down from there. Couple of work watches. So rewatched the movie. Now, I have a soft spot for this movie because of nostalgia. Because I think I just had a really good day watching this at the cinema once. Where it just, I don't know, for some reason it hit the right spot at the time I watched it at the cinema. When I was like 10. So that happened. But I rewatched Another Stakeout, the John Badham movie with Richard Dreyfuss, Emilio Estevez, Rosie O'Donnell, and Dennis Fariner is in there as well. And the problem is, I do this where I'll watch Another Stakeout like every 4 or 5 years because it'll crop up on something or something will remind me about it. But every time I watch it, it just goes down in how enjoyable it is. Because when I was watching this time, I was watching going, it's not very good, this. And like a lot of these movies that I watch, I'm aware of the fact that they're not very good. But like I was palpably aware of the fact that this isn't very good. And it kind of made me go, I might just have to never watch this again. Because I might go from it being like this kind of like oddity that I'll enjoy watching, that nobody else fucking watches. as a pure nostalgia thing to something that I actually look at and go, no, I hate this movie. I'm getting close to that level. It's nowhere near as much fun as I remember it being, but it still did make me laugh at certain points of it. Emilio Estevez's performance in it is still a good amount of fun, but maybe it was the fact that Richard Dreyfuss is in it, and of course we had the Richard Dreyfuss just like voluntarily just like jamming his own fucking foot in his mouth like a few weeks ago. With his, what, so I'm never going to get to play a black man? Quote. It's like, no. Funnily enough, no, Richard. Just for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, don't look it up, because you won't want to watch Close Encounters ever again. There was that. However, a movie, again, weirdly also from 1993, so I probably would have watched it around the same time, that I watch every so often, that I am the only person who still watches this movie, goes up in my estimations every time I watch it, is 1993's Airborne, which stars Shane McDermott, a man who did no films after this, but it also does have Seth Green and Jack Black in early roles. A great moment of Jack Black where the character he plays is doing like a speech class, and so literally just stands up and goes, and they have to say what their interests are, and his character just goes, well, I really like Nintendo and Nintendo. Yeah, pretty much just Nintendo. And you watch it going, yep, Jack Black has not changed that fucking much, has he? Some 30 years later. But the film is actually just quite a lot of fun, and there's a 20-minute rollerblading race at the end of it.
Of course there is. Which
actually has some really fucking good action shots in it. That it's kind of like I was doing some like research into it, and apparently Rob Bauman, the director, was saying that the idea was that we'd shoot it as 20 minutes because we wanted to shoot it as basically like it's in real time, but it's not. We didn't advertise that it's in real time, but the idea was to shoot it in real time, and you can kind of tell it's like going. These are real guys doing this, skating this real like track that was created for them in Cincinnati. That was based on like a route that real rollerbladers kind of took, and he said, and some of it is the real actors doing it, and they're getting really fucking knocked about and hurt quite a lot, and you can fucking see it. But the reason why it goes up in my estimations every time I watch it is the lead character, this guy called Mitchell. He's a surfer from California whose parents tell him that they're going to Australia, and he's like, that's really fucking cool, can't wait, we're off to Australia for 6 months, there's going to be great waves and all this lot, and they're like, no, you're not going, you're going to go to Cincinnati and stay with your aunt and uncle. And so you've got the whole like fish out of water, he's gone from being like California surfer to having to go to Cincinnati, but it's more the character has this weird outlook on life that you watch it going, this guy kind of seems like he's got it all sort of figured out, in the sense that everyone keeps trying to pick fights with him, and he's like, I'm not going to fight you because I just don't kind of believe in fucking violence being the answer. I kind of just prefer to be your friend, so let's just fucking chill and just chat it out. And the more you watch it, like, even like as a 40-year-old guy rather than like a 10, 11-year-old kid watching it, you're there going, it's a really fucking good outlook to have in life, that, actually. Like, I'm not going to stress even the little things, because we can just sort of look beyond them. And it's like, honestly, I was watching it going, this is great. I am loving my time watching this movie. But yeah, I had a good fucking time watching it again. Cool. Okay. There's there's a couple. I'll do the ones that me and Becky watched together, but I'll start with White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
So, it's 30 years, I believe, since 31 years, sorry, since White Men Can't Jump came out. And White Men Can't Jump was a big film for me growing up. Partially, I think because
you wanted to believe that a white man could jump.
I mean, part of it was that, yeah. And the other bit of it was, nowadays, and we say this a lot, you have access to pretty much everything. Whereas back in the early 90s, you had access to the videotapes you had. And one of the videotapes I had was White Men Can't Jump, that I bought with my own money. So I was both intrigued about this remake or reimagining and a little bit worried. And then the fact that it's Jack Harlow, who apparently is a rapper that I've never heard of, was doing the Woody Harrelson role. And
I thought he was Machine Gun Kelly, but I think that's because I'm old.
And Sinclair Wallace was doing the Wesley Snipes thing. It takes a different tact to White Men Can't Jump, in the sense that it very much points out early on, at the time when White Men Can't Jump came out, it literally was like a running joke that that white dudes were good at and a word that got used a lot was the fundamentals of basketball, but were actually shit at everything else. So street basketball they were terrible at. And then, White Men Can't Jump did an awful lot for, weirdly, racial relationships within basketball, apparently. But you can't have that now because white men can jump now, apparently. So it kind of gets that across quite early on. But it does deal a lot with let's face it, racial jokes quite a lot.
I feel like Ron DeSantis is going to launch his presidential bid on Twitter tonight by saying, I demand that white men must be able to jump. It's been too long that the white man has been put down by his inability to jump, and I say no more. And Elon Musk will go, yes, yep.
Yeah, Elon Musk will then literally just tweet loads of videos of white men jumping.
That's the thing that's happening tonight as we record. Ron DeSantis is launching his presidential bid on Twitter with Elon Musk.
Yep. Fucking hell, space. But then it literally, at a point in about sort of a third of the way into the movie, it basically calls itself out, where one of the characters turns around to the other one and goes, right, are we about ready to fucking cut all of the fucking racial jokes now? Because it's getting a little bit boring. And they go, yeah, alright then. And you don't really hear another one for the rest of the movie, which is quite an interesting tact. But the idea is that you've got Jack Harlow plays Jeremy, the Woody Harrelson character, and Sinclair Wallace plays Kamal, the Wesley Snipes. But Kamal is he was a big shot, was going to be an NBA star. And then we fast forward fucking 20 years later, and he's not. And then we have to sort of fill in the blanks during the movie as to why he's not made it as an NBA star. Jeremy, could have made it as a G League player, and then maybe could have graduated to being an NBA player. But the reason why he didn't is because he fucked both of his knees, and he's still trying to get that back by hustling. And Kamal is just refusing to play any competitive basketball at all, so just plays pickup games at his local gym. And then they end up kind of teaming up together to go into this competition. So the thing is, it ticks along, and it's kind of hitting a lot of the same beats. As the original. But I think I said to Unit Abex, the problem is that it's working incredibly hard to do the things that White Men Can't Jump did with such ease. And there's not enough basketball in it, is there, to start off with?
No.
and it does seem like it's really trying hard, and it's not even like it's trying hard to be a modernisation of it. I think that it integrates that quite well into the mix.
Yeah, I think it updates the concept really well. Like with, there's a lot of, and I'll say what I was going to say after you finished.
Yeah. But then it gets towards the end of the movie, so like the end third of it, and it has this kind of, White Men Can't Jump is quite breezy throughout the entirety of it, and it has this sort of switch where you find out that basically the reason why Kamal hasn't made it is because whenever he gets into a high pressure situation, a really high pressure situation, he can't handle it. Mentally, he can't handle it, and he flips and he gets aggressive. And at the same time, you've got Jeremy's character is going in a spiral because he realises that he's never going to get the chance to play pro ball. This dream he's been chasing doesn't exist, and he realises that he actually has quite a serious pill addiction that he's taking to stop essentially his knees from fucking causing him agony whenever he plays basketball. And so you have these quite serious moments towards the end of the movie, don't you? My only big sort of criticism I have with it is at the end of the movie, at the end of White Men Can't Jump, the original, their lives are pretty much the same as they were. The only way they've moved on is they've found each other and they've found this friendship that's there. Whereas at the end of this White Men Can't Jump, and all spoilers all the time for it, is everything works out really well for them. Like really, like they get their dreams essentially, don't they?
Yeah. So what I was going to say before is I think it handles a really difficult subject very well. There's a lot of hand-wringing about the male mental health crisis that isn't necessarily very well dealt with in contemporary media.
Yeah.
There's stuff that tries to address it, but it never really does very well with it. And I think this...
I think what it often looks at is it often looks at fringes of society rather than fringes of society mental health problems in young males than it looks at more outwardly mobile males.
Yeah, like your average guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it isn't just fringe people that suffer with mental health. Yeah, everyone does to a certain extent. It's, even if it's just having a really bad week where you feel particularly anxious, that's a mental health issue. But most people have had or know someone who has or has had mental health problems. It isn't just the people that you could point to.
Yeah.
And I think this does really well with addressing that and facing it head on. Kamal's got really bad anger issues. He doesn't know how to handle his emotions, and Jeremy, like you say, he's whole persona is wrapped up in got to get back to playing ball, got to get back to this, and they both kind of deal with their mental health issues. And I think if they then ended up just basically in the same situation as at the start, then to an extent it's aspirational. Deal with your shit, and then maybe things will happen that are nice.
It's a fair comment. I enjoyed my time with it enough. It made me want to rewatch White Men Can't Jump.
Same.
But I probably will watch this again at some point.
I really fucking enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed this more than you.
Probably did, yeah.
Nice.
But I did say, so I know we have a tendency to categorise movies by when they should be watched.
Yeah.
White Men Can't Jump is a perfectly acceptable Saturday night event movie.
Yeah.
It's date night, you've got a takeaway or you've made something real nice and you watch White Men Can't Jump. This film ain't that.
No.
This is a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon movie.
Yeah.
It's
It's,
not.
it's that thing. White Men Can't Jump 1992, you could watch at any time of the day. It has all of that. It is an all-rounder. Whereas this, you won't want to watch this on a night. Unless it's like a weeknight. A Tuesday to Thursday weeknight movie, I think you could get away with.
Yeah.
We also watched Maybe I Do, didn't we, Bex? We'll finish the ones that we watched, then you can bounce onto your what you've watched solo.
Okay.
That's cool, just so you can compose your thoughts. So we watched Maybe I Do, didn't we, Bex?
Yeah.
Which, of course, I was really excited about because it stars Emma Roberts and Luke Bracey.
What a double.
Of Holiday fame. What?
Yeah.
Why are you looking like that?
It's a bit of a... It
The
pulls a bit of a switcheroo on you, this.
Yeah, the problem is, the trailer you watch isn't the movie that it is.
And the synopsis that you read
Isn't
the movie that it is.
It was quite intriguing when the movie started and it said, written and directed by Michael Jacobs, based on his play. I was like, alright, it's based on a play. Okay, let's go. And then literally 10 minutes into it, you are very well aware that you're watching a movie based on a play, aren't you, Becky?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, the chief premise of it is, I suppose all the time, but not to spoiler it too much, because I don't think you really can spoiler it too much, because the bits you expect to happen. Is...
And more, it's like a study of human nature more than a movie, isn't it?
Yes. So, at the start, you've got these 3 separate events going on at the same time, and you don't realise how they're connected. So you've got Richard Gere and Susan Sarandon are in a hotel room, and Susan Sarandon is basically asking him, why aren't we fucking right now?
Yeah.
And he's having a bit of an existential crisis, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, interspersed with that, you've got William H. Macy crying at a film in a cinema.
Not just any film.
A foreign film on his own, and Diane Keaton's character also there on her own, coming over to basically sit with him
and say, "Are you all right?
Are you all right?" And then they have this on-off. They're just liking spending the evening with each other. Should they fuck or should they not? And they decide not to, but they just have a really nice evening with each other.
Just get chicken.
That involves them watching a movie, getting a hotel room, then getting a big bucket of chicken that they walk around with. And then at the same time as that, you've got Emma Roberts and Luke Bracey are at a wedding, and
it's basically been arranged for her to catch
the bouquet. He then worries that if she catches the bouquet, he's got to propose, so he catches it instead, and you've got the fallout of that.
He doesn't just catch it though, does he?
No.
He dives across a table and leaps for it.
Yes.
Yeah. Like he really catches that bouquet.
Yeah. And then you find out how all these things interlink, don't you?
Interlink.
Where Emma Roberts basically tells Luke Bracey that he has 24 hours to decide whether or not they should get married, and that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her.
The thing is, it's not even that bad of an ultimatum. She just asks him. She says he's got 24 hours to decide if this is going somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's been a psycho.
No, she's not, and her logic for it is sound. So she goes off to her parents, and he goes off to his parents, and then it's arranged that
they'll have a meal.
They'll have a meal together because neither of the parents have ever met. So his parents go to her house, and what would you have it? The Richard Gere and Diane Keaton's character are Emma Roberts' parents, and William H. Macy and Susan Sarandon's are the parents of Jake Bracey. And yeah, that kind of goes there. But you're expecting this kind of this frothy, very formulaic, frothy rom-com. And it's kind of not. It is funny at points.
It is very much more about the grown-ups and their individual existential crises about... it's a study of relationships as you mature, I think, as well, isn't it? Like it's way deeper than you anticipate.
William H. Macy has a line, though, doesn't he? That literally fucking killed us. And I cannot remember it.
William H. Macy's real sad because the love of his life got away because he decided he wanted to look cool to all the rest of the people in school, and so he slept with someone else.
Yeah.
And then told her that he was doing it for them.
Yeah, and he fucking hates Susan Sarandon, who hates him as well, which plays really quite well.
Yeah, because like theirs is coming from a completely different place than the like Diane Keaton, Richard Gere conflict, which is just that they've kind of
Drifted apart
and got into a bit of a rut. Whereas, yeah, William H. Macy and Susan Sarandon seem to really hate each other.
Yeah. And so Susan Sarandon's character is very anti like love and anti marriage, and William H. Macy's like, just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit less
I can't remember what the
fun.
fucking line was.
I
It's
can't
not
remember
on
what it is.
IMDb,
Yeah,
but-
I'll try and find it when you're doing your bit. It's a little bit less fun than I was expecting, and a little bit more introspective.
Yeah.
But all the performances are really good. You are well aware you're watching an adaptation of a play.
But I think that really works for it though, because I was looking at the reviews of it, and they're all really bad and saying about the dialogue feeling really sort of like stilted and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, but it's because it feels like a play.
Yeah.
But I think it works for it. I think if it had tried to go down the normal kind of zippy rom-com vibe, it'd have lost the message a little bit.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Yeah, but I had a good time. I think it's a good film.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised,
I was
I was
surprised.
really looking forward to it. If it had been the frothy rom-com that it could have been, I'd have still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you would.
But it has something extra to it. It's
Yeah.
not as
Even
good as Fucking
non-idiots
Holiday.
can enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's quite thinky.
yeah. I mean, enjoyed it. It's good. It's not as good as Holiday.
Nice.
It's a completely different type of film.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's not as good as Holiday.
Just let him have his thing, Becky. Just let him have his thing.
Do you think it's as good as Holiday? Genuinely.
It's a completely different genre of film. You can't compare the two.
What else
I
did
think
we
it's a
watch,
better
Becky?
film than Holiday.
Wow, fuck you. What else did we watch, Becky?
So we watched Ghost.
Nice.
I cried.
And I don't even think you were enjoying it that much.
No. I think, do you know what? I think it just made me feel, it made me think about how I would feel if I lost you. And it made me really sad.
I'd be a terrible fucking ghost.
You guys getting into pottery?
I'd be a terrible. I would be a.
You'd
twat.
be an absolute cunt if
I'd
you were a
would. I'd
ghost.
fuck with you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. But yeah, just like the bit where like she has to kind of say goodbye to him when he initially dies, but then she has to say goodbye to him again when he like the light comes back again, and she
It
gets
is
to
quite a
see
sad
him.
moment,
It's
that, yeah.
so sad, and like, yeah, I don't think I'd cope at all. Ian, like, if anything ever happens to Mark, you're all gonna have to rally round and look after me and put me on some kind of watch.
The thing is, Mark is gonna die first.
Because he's stupid.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think I'll deal well with it all.
You'll be alright.
No, I don't think no, like, genuinely, I don't think I will.
No, I think you're stronger than you think you are. I think you prop Mark up myself, but you know.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
If I go first, everything will fall to shit. You'll just be wearing, like, clean, but just, like, the same clothes, washing them
No,
every day.
Bex, if
Showering
you go.
loads.
If you go first, Mark just moves in with us and we have the Joey annex.
It's true.
Fair.
Yeah, but I enjoyed my time with Ghost. It's fun. The special effects look like shit.
I mean, it is like over 30 years old.
Oh yeah, yeah, but even for them, it still looks like it's ropey as fuck.
I think, like,
But you can see why this movie made $500 million at the box office in 1990.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's bonkers off a $22 million $2 million budget.
I just think, as a first watch, I think, like, obviously you've got to take into account when it was made. I don't think the effects are that bad for when it was made at all. And everyone is so fucking good in it.
Yeah.
Like, it must be so difficult to act that. Because obviously he's there. And just, like, having to completely ignore him and, like, it just must be a really weird, like, thing to have to do.
Yeah.
And I think Whoopi Goldberg's really good.
Yeah, well, she won an Academy Award for it, didn't she?
Demi Moore, though, it just makes me real sad for her face. She was so cute. And now she's just an abomination.
I don't think she's that bad, is she?
Oh, have you seen the recent pictures of her from some catwalk thing?
No. I'm going to let you do your bits while I try and find what this really fun joke is that probably isn't as fun as we're making it out to be now.
I think you've built it up a bit too much.
I think I have, yeah.
Are you actually going somewhere else to
I need to watch it to find it.
You need to watch it?
The
entire film?
No, I've just got to the bit where I think it is.
Jesus Christ.
What have you been up to, Bex?
What have I been up to? Right, I'm not going to talk about these at length because, Ian, you talked about them last week. I watched the rest of the Fast and Furious movies.
Nah, fuck it. Have at it, man. I'm intrigued to see what you thought.
No, do you know what, though? Because I've watched them all in such quick succession, I honestly, we were talking about this yesterday after we got out of Fast X. I can't remember what happens in which movie because I treated it in the same way that what did I watch? What else did I watch recently? I think I watched all the
Conjurings.
No, I think it was all the Marvel movies that I watched up to the end of Phase 3, and I was like watching half of one and then stopping if I needed to go to bed, and then watching the rest of that one, and then like 3/4 of the next one, so that like it was just a continual thing. And I've kind of done the same with the Fast and Furious movies, so they're all just a blur now. And I can't even remember where I got to last time. So yeah, and we watched so we had to watch Fast 9, and then I watched The Fate of the Furious the following morning because Mark wanted to rewatch Fast 9 F9 before we saw Fast X, but I hadn't had a chance to watch 8 yet, so I had to watch them the wrong way round. It was all very confused. It's been a confusing week. I mean, they're the Fast and Furious movies. They're overblown. They're bonkers. I think my favourite is probably Fate, to be honest, having watched them all again. I think.
I like Fate more than every time I watch it. I like that one more because, like, I think I'm maybe this plays into Fast X as well. I'm keying into the fuck. Somebody described it as like a telenovela, and it is that. It is just like the Toretto stuff. It's just the most overwrought bollocks, and like you just have to go if you submit to it. I swear those films are different, and we'll get into it. People seemed perfectly happy to deal with it in Fast 5 and Fast 6 and Fast 7. I don't get why it turned. I don't. Yeah.
How do you mean?
Yeah. Just the reaction to Fast X has been poor.
Oh, really?
We'll get into we'll get into Fast X when we get into Fast X.
Yeah.
But it just I'm enjoying just that Vin Diesel doing what the fuck Vin Diesel wants to do with Toretto, and like the fact that F9 is F9 the Fast Saga. Diesel is taking this seriously. No one else is taking it seriously, and that's the exact right combination.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for me, Cypher's a really good baddie in Fate, and she's kind of relegated to nothing in Fast 9. I don't like F9 as much as Fate. There's no submarine, so there's that.
Is F9 fine?
F9's fine. No, F9's great. I just like Fate better.
Is Fate great?
Fate's great. But yeah, really, it is odd though, and I think we said this last week. When you watch them all in quite quick succession, the escalation is a steep curve. Like going from stealing DVDs to going to like exploding a submarine. So yeah, but yeah, really enjoyed it. I'm glad my rewatch is over. To be honest, it's been quite intense.
we have breaking news.
What?
Oh,
Tina Turner has died.
Oh no!
Whoa! Shit! Wow.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
You look real sad.
I'm kind of sad. Tina Turner was a fucking legend.
She was. How old is she?
83.
3.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'd expect... Oh, fuck, you'd have expected her to go on for a bit longer, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, a long illness in her home in Zurich, Switzerland. Alright.
Yeah.
I feel like my movie talk's a bit trivial.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Go on. Well.
So about halfway
But
through...
Rolf Harris is in hell now, so that's good. Sorry, Bex.
No, that's alright. About halfway through my rewatch of the Fast movies, I needed to take a little bit of a break from the cars and the revving. And one thing about Fast and Furious, though, watching them all quite close together, they all start like on a beach and everyone's happy, and then they all end with a barbecue and everyone's happy.
Well, they don't all end like that, do they?
Well, no, because this one hasn't ended because it's the first of a 3-part trilogy. I mean, all trilogies are 3-part, but you get what I'm saying. So anyway, I decided that I would finish up my Conjuring Universe rewatch and do The Curse of La Llorona, which I really wasn't looking forward to because I remembered it being really shit. And I really, really quite enjoyed it on rewatch. I don't know why, especially with it being me. Like, I'm super forgiving of horror movies. And I don't know why I was such a fucking miserable twat about it. It's quite good. Well, quite good's probably a stretch, but it's fine. It's an enjoyable horror movie watch. I think it's because it just doesn't feel up to the quality of the rest of the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, really enjoyed it. And I also watched... This is the last one I've watched on my own, I think. The very hard to find Bubba Hotep.
It is quite hard to find, isn't it?
It's not even on Just Watch if you want to try and find out where it might be. But yeah, I'm assuming you've seen Bubba Hotep. Do you know what I love about it, and what I loved about it when I first watched it, and why I liked it so much and wanted to rewatch it? How fucking straight it's played. Like, they've got you believing by the end of it that this man is JFK and they've just painted him. Like, you're really in it with him. And like the Elvis, like how he's Elvis in this care home, like they come up with quite a plausible story for that. And you're like, do you know that could happen? Got bored of fame, swapped places with a Elvis impersonator for a few years, and then the Elvis impersonator died and he's trapped. That could have really happened. Maybe Elvis is alive. And yeah, there's also a like ancient Egyptian demon thing that sucks people's souls out of their butts. So there's a bit of silliness in there, but the actual characterizations of the characters, is played so straight and deadpan that it just really fucking works for me. And I really, really enjoyed it. I was a bit worried because I loved it when it first came out. I was really worried that I was gonna rewatch it and be like, oh no, you were just stupid. But I wasn't stupid.
Good.
Yeah, so that's me. That's me done. Have I done anything else? No.
So, I missed one of mine.
Did you watch a horror film without me?
I missed this week's Dash Mihawk, we hardly knew her.
I hardly knew her.
Yeah.
Dash Mihawk, I hardly knew her.
Yeah, I missed it this week. I watched what?
Not just a horror film that you watched without me, a Mike Flanagan.
You watched it
horror
like a
film.
few weeks ago.
That's not the point.
So I watched Mike Flanagan's Before I Wake.
Bex,
Yeah.
if you're not available for Dash Mihawk, I barely knew her. That's not Mark's fault.
It's not, no. Yeah, so what I will say about Before I Wake...
Now you'll be glad when he's dead.
Is unfortunately, Dash Mihawk fails where Rebecca Ferguson doesn't in trying to kill Jacob Tremblay in this movie. What did you think of when you rewatched it, Bex?
I don't think I've watched this.
You have watched it, and you watched it quite recently, you said.
No.
Oh, I thought you had. Well, I watched it, and it's not that good, to be honest. So it's effectively
Stick to TV, Mike.
Kate Bosworth, Thomas Jane, are a couple, and their son drowns, and they decide, as part of the grieving process, that they're going to adopt a child, and that child ends up being Jacob Tremblay. Except
What's
what
he to start with?
Pam?
You said he ends up being Jacob Tremblay. What does he start as?
And who can say an imaginary butterfly? Apparently, according to this movie. But like, what this kid has, a special ability is his dreams essentially come to life, and so he keeps dreaming about their dead kid, and so their dead kid keeps coming to life, and their Kate Bosworth's character is loving the fact that her son is now kind of there in this weird spirit form. But then things start to turn because, of course, if his dreams come to life, so do his nightmares.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's where Dash Mihawk comes into it. He was the guy who previously had adopted Jacob Tremblay, and one of Jacob Tremblay's dreams had literally stolen Dash's wife. So Dash had tried to kill Jacob Tremblay, but hadn't managed to do it.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's not that great. Dash Mihawk's not in it enough. So tune in next week for more Dash Mihawk.
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Instructor. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Hunter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs. Punter podcast, featuring two film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot. I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's
isn't.
not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just in that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
Let's do our main review an hour and 40 minutes into proceedings.
Oh, have you been
Good.
with me?
Yes. It's Fast X.
Woo!
All of the fast people are there.
Including the dead ones.
But so's Brie Larson, so's Morena, so is Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it wasn't hair danglies, it was off his glasses.
I'm disappointed. I think they edited the hair danglies out. I think
the hair
Uncle Vin went in, burst into the room to the people that were de-aging him, and went, get rid of his fucking danglies.
Yeah, his face is doing some weird shit in this movie.
Yes, it is. So yeah, Fast X. Fuck it, Ian. What did you think to Fast X? I'm not going to go into it because the plot doesn't even have to make sense. We'll get into it as we go.
There's a plot?
Ian, what did you make to Fast X?
If you didn't like Fast X, you're going to be annoyed by me. But you know what? I don't care. Shut the fuck up. Fast X was terrific fun. It was absolute bollocks,
Yes.
and I loved it. None of it made any sense. Vin Diesel has incredible telepathic powers. I'm going to say it now. The moment that he's in the van with Alan Ritchson and he buckles up, he's just like, I know something's coming. How the fuck did he know that?
No,
and how the fuck did Alan Ritchson not know it when he was one of the bad guys?
There's a better moment than that in the same sequence that is a what? Right?
No. I mean, the what is when Jason Momoa is talking about Swan Lake, shoots Brie Larson, and then in the score it does da 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 da.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to stand up and cheer.
Brian Tyler, well played. My favourite bit of that sequence, however, to
Yeah.
just jump across it slightly, was the fact that literally, despite the fact they come from completely different places, they've all got walkie-talkies that just talk to each other.
Oh, that's also terrific point.
No,
Terrific.
I
point.
think if you're a Toretto, you have to carry a walkie-talkie at all times, and it has to always be on the same band or frequency.
Which might make sense, but then
makes sense if you're a Toretto.
But that's fine. But then fucking Richardson and Momoa have also got the same ones.
Who's Richardson?
The
chest.
guy who's chasing him, he turns out to be the wrong one.
Oh, Ames.
Yeah,
Right. Call him by his character name.
they did the human chest.
I mean,
Well, I did get
also
it from
true.
that, to be fair.
Carry on here.
Just absolute fucking nonsense. If you're not in, why are you watching? And
Yeah.
as I was alluding to earlier on, I genuinely don't get why suddenly people are turning on it, saying, "Oh, the action's just so dumb now." It feels like it's
always
written
been
by
dumb.
AI. Yes,
Honestly, it feels like it's written by AI people can get to fuck because it's just cool. You've got a buzzword and you're going to use
yeah,
it.
and I also assume that you're affiliated with the WGA. It's always these films have always been like this, and I had a stick up my arse about them until Fast 5, and I used to talk about how shit they were, and I've opened up my heart to love.
They are action soap operas.
Yeah, that is they are. They're just these fucking dumb but still heart on their sleeve things where people can walk into an internet cafe in London and there's Pete Davidson, because why the fuck not?
Yes. As a character called Bowie.
Oh, great. You know, I mean, it just... And just that shit where Tyrese... Was it Tyrese Gibson just throwing that white shit around all over the place in that scene?
What was
And
that?
I don't know. And then just the random Han eating that shit, and then for like 10 seconds, he's tripping, and then by the next scene, it's just
fine.
completely done.
Yeah.
It absolute bollocks, but of the absolute highest order. I had a great deal of fun with Fast X. Fuck. Just the people who have never liked the films, fair play. But if you were all in on them up to Fast 7 and then, oh, these films are so stupid, they're just cartoons. Fuck you. Stop listening to this show. I don't want your fucking listenership. Fuck you, Noel.
Becky, what did you think to Fast 10?
Much the same, to be honest. I think it's there is issues that I have with this one in particular, but they've been gradual issues that in this one it just kind of annoyed me. For example, that like your best mate is married to your sister. Your best mate's really good at car shit and car heists and shit. So who do you invite to help on a car heist thing? You fucking skinny ass sister.
Your skeleton soccer mom.
Yeah, like her continued involvement in this. If they were going to, obviously, they can't have Paul Walker in them.
Yep.
if they're going to not kill his character off out of respect,
then she can't
then
be in them.
she should not be in them. They should have just written them out as a couple, and their family is retired from this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have Mia there in preference of Brian. You just fucking wouldn't.
No, but it's like she just keeps on insisting herself upon them a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like...
Sorry.
She's like the bit. She's just so miscast for the character that they're trying to make her be as well. Like they keep trying to convince us that she's this badass that could fight off like special ops guys that break into our house quite well, really. Until Jacob turns up, she's doing quite well. She wouldn't be. They'd snap her like a fucking twig.
Yeah.
They could have got away with the Brian thing if they'd got rid of Mia.
Yeah.
But they can't, as it is. It doesn't work.
I mean, they're also trying to get away with the fatal mistake in calling the kid Brian.
Little B.
by only referring to him as Little B.
Yeah.
Uncle Vin has been listening.
Yes, he has.
The thing is, I can forgive that one. I can't forgive the continued involvement of his useless wife in preference to him.
That's the worst one. But Vin Diesel listens to me and not you.
Also, have any of the main characters ever died in this?
Well, yeah.
Who?
Letty dies.
Well, she comes back.
Yeah, they've died, but they all come
No,
back.
but this is what I mean. Have any of them ever died
And gone.
and gone?
No.
So the stakes are real fucking
Yeah. Matt Schultz, the one who's in 1 and then turns up in 5 again and gets killed.
I don't think we can count him.
Vinny.
Sure, he looks like a Vinny.
He's in this a little bit as well, isn't he, at one point?
Is he?
Yeah, not the actor, but the character is in it.
But he dies.
He's he's in it as a youngling.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I did wonder if that was meant to be Vinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, stakes just real fucking low.
Wait. All spoilers all the time. Becky, they're all dead now. Apart from Vin, they're all dead.
It would be pretty funny if they were all dead and it's just Dom going on a fucking revenge mission.
Oh my God.
The fact that we know it's not, we know that Jacob, yes, is probably dead.
I reckon they'll find a way.
I don't think they will with Cena.
They won't, because it's only one film. If there's 2 films left, then
There is,
maybe. But they won't come... Well, it kind of seems like maybe Vin Diesel was just saying that to try and box Universal into a corner. Not Cena,
sure.
Diesel.
I'm sure there's 2 more.
He has said, like, the only evidence of that is Diesel saying that Universal said, oh, maybe we could do 3.
Yeah, it's still looking more likely like it's going to be 2.
I will say, as much as I like this one, you can't string this out for another 2 films with this storyline. You can't.
No, it needs to be one more.
Like what? Because like the cliffhanger on this is so everybody's dead, Dave.
Yeah,
You know that you. How do you then do a cliffhanger for a second part leading into a third part, unless it is literally Vin Diesel ascending into heaven?
which I wouldn't put it past him at this point.
Well, Wikipedia says that there's 2.
But that's because of what is it? Because Vin Diesel.
Yeah, because Vinny D, Uncle Vin, spinning gold out of shit.
Yeah, the bringing Giselle back. I mean, I can understand a lot. I've seen a lot of discourse on like Twitter and stuff like that recently saying, "Hang on a second, Han can come back from a completely exploded fucking car, but Giselle's fully fuck on dead from banging her head falling off a plane." That doesn't seem fair.
Doesn't seem fair, but I still maintain nobody is saying, oh, do you know what? I haven't seen Gal Gadot in anything for a while, are they? Because everyone was kind of, let's be honest, a little bit glad.
The thing is, it makes sense for her career to come back to this because she's
Yeah,
not
Gal
trying to
Gadot.
think
No,
Fucking
Gal Gadot.
submarine.
Gal Gadot is saying to Vin Diesel, "You haven't seen me in one of these for a bit, have you?" And Vin Diesel's going, No. Do you reckon you might have me in one of these? Maybe.
do you know what? Prior to Gal Gadot being problematic Gal Gadot and just chatting shit about shit, when she was in these, like, the chemistry between her and Han, like, that character was good character. The coupley chemistry was good with them two. They were real sweet together. And, like, if she's trying to kind of make some ground back, then I'd rather her do this than another fucking Wonder Woman movie.
But it's a franchise that people come back to when they don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Like, Vin Diesel comes back to the fourth one because shit's been fucking up.
Yeah.
You know, Gal Gadot's coming back. The Rock's coming back. And that bit obviously looked like they shot it maybe a month ago.
Yeah, it does. And it's like you're looking at it with The Rock on it, and that scene, you watch it going, just like, it's one scene. How did you get it so bad?
And the thing is, it kind of kills the concept as well, because it's like, well, Toretto planned it all. You pulled the trigger. What? You wouldn't be going after him at the same time, if not before, considering he's the one who actually killed your dad.
Yeah.
But obviously, that I still reckon in part two, The Rock and Vin Diesel will share one scene at the end, and they're going to get so much fucking mileage out of that on the press tour for it.
Oh yeah. I think I'm with both of you guys on it. I had a good enough time with it.
Good enough is not good enough, Mark.
It's fucking daft. It's silly. I don't think it feels 2 and a bit hours long. I think it zips along at a nice pace to it.
Jason Momoa, we haven't talked about him.
Yeah, Momoa talking to the 2 fucking dead corpses.
Best scene in
Great,
the
can't
film.
believe they put that scene in.
Yeah.
Cannot
Yep.
believe they did that.
And the production design or costume or whatever you will class it as the one who's not sat next to him sat across
Yeah.
to him
How his
with the
face
tape
has been
around
taped,
his
yeah.
face like that is fucking genius.
I was
Just
reading
the
something
The
something
fly on
earlier.
the eye. Sorry, Bex.
Oh no, that was grim. Leterrier put that in with thinking, I'm gonna have to take this out, and then they didn't make him take it out.
It's a beautiful moment within the film.
It's a little bit Michael Bay Bad Boys 2-esque of just this really weirdly gnarly, like Bad Boys 2, where it's that chase where it's like they're just throwing all the bodies out at them. You know, on the highway. It's got that kind of energy to it. But then no other scene in the film does, but I'm really glad it's there.
Yeah, I very much enjoy the fact that Momoa is just having so much fucking fun
Yeah.
with it. That it's just... Yeah, I like his chaos that he's bringing to it.
I think there's points, I said this to you last night, I think there's points where it takes it a touch too far with the pantomiminess, but for the most part he keeps it simmering at a good level where it's unhinged but menacing rather than unhinged and a bit laughable.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed Brie Larson in it. I thought she was fun in it, and very much doesn't. She's clearly in it for something that is going to be more involved later on.
Kind of hope she's not, and they just shot her out, and we're like, do you know what? It's a bit of a pain in the arse, actually. Fuck it, let's just have her gone. It's such a nothing role. But she's gonna rock up with Kurt Russell. You know,
Yeah, she's gonna. The fact that they're making a point of saying he's not dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I think at one point someone does refer to him as being dead and she corrects him and says, missing.
Yeah, the only point that I was a little bit like, oh, for God's sake, was the utterly pointless Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez fight.
Yeah, it really bothered you for some reason.
Because it's like Charlize Theron is literally helping her get out of this fucking unbreakable prison that she will have no chance of getting out of on her own, and she's literally helping her. And then at the moment when she's helping emotionally, decides, no, I'm going to have a fight with her instead. It's just, fuck off, dickhead. And also you did, I mentioned this earlier before you joined us, you did have a moment that shocked me to my core. When you said something to me during we were watching this.
What did I say?
Where you said it about Michelle Rodriguez?
Oh, that she'd get it.
That she'd get it, yeah.
She would,
Yep.
Blair's a fucking badass. Michelle Rodriguez would get it.
No, she's got a face like a man's knee.
Fuck off.
Nah, mate.
No.
This is this week's Eva Mendes has too much face. Michelle Rodriguez, like, that's a good-looking lady in her 40s.
I do not get that. I didn't even get it when
She's got a really good sexual energy to her as well. Like,
Yeah.
You know, Michelle Rodriguez fucks.
I
Yeah.
don't think she does.
Yeah, she
Oh,
fucking does.
mate,
She gets real dirty.
Yeah, she died. I would go within myself.
Yeah, don't see it myself. Was a little bit
fucking
shocked.
Idiot. You think Charlize Theron's better looking than Michelle Rodriguez, even with the bowl cut, so you can fuck off. You don't have any say here.
Fine. I will talk about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's good.
The fight
it's good.
scene with Charlize Theron, because I will fight you on this. Charlize Theron has been a cunt in 2 whole movies before this.
And she's literally helping her.
Like, now she's helping her because she's desperate. It's a 2-person escape plan and she's only 1 person. She's not helping her because she's suddenly a nice person. She's still, like, tried to, like, kill all of them for 2 movies worth of plot.
Right? But how does it actually end up for Michelle Rodriguez in that? She literally has to go back down and get her help again. So
She's got it all out of the
So that
system.
means she's unattractive. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that it adds to it, yeah. Stupidity and stubbornness, you know.
Okay, cool.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Didn't like it. Of course, the hot Brazilian fucking car girl ends up being in some way linked to fucking Dom.
I mean, you say hot. No, you see, this is where I'm going to disagree.
She's no Elena Neves, is she?
No, I mean, no. I mean, Daniela Melchior, who was the rat catcher 2 in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's been in things. In this, I wanted her to eat a sandwich or get off the skag.
So scrawny, isn't she?
Like, she's very scrawny, yes. I'll admit to that.
Like, and it just, like, it was a bit like, that's not that. But, I suppose, like, maybe if I was, like, 15-year-old me, I'd be like, well, hey, yeah, hello, then, what's this?
If we're ranking hotness, then, if we're going to go down that road...
Alright, come on then. Come on.
Then I think we have to admit that Natalie Emmanuel is, like, next level.
Oh, no, not anymore.
Fuck off!
Yeah, I'm not sure about that myself.
No.
She's
Fuck
very, like, she's a good-looking lady. But next level is a statement.
I'm saying in comparison to the women in this movie.
Yeah, no.
No.
What?
No, I don't know.
No.
Wow. Surprised. I'm a little bit disappointed in you.
Nah, she's fucked it. She's fucked it. Her outfits in this one are horrible.
Wasn't a big fan of the haircut in this one.
No.
I mean, yeah, the hair is... When you've got that beautiful hair, cutting it feels a little bit like a
I mean,
a
even the
travesty.
one... Is it F9 where she's got it in plaits? Even that looks better than this.
Yeah, they look quite hot in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plaits were a thing.
But Fate is where it's really fucking top tier.
Alright. Best bit of the whole movie. Best bit that I enjoyed the most out of the whole movie. John Cena and Little Bees.
Oh, little
Adventure.
side adventure, yeah, that's
Yeah.
cute.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Literally, just taking the movie there and going, right, we have John Cena, but the only real interaction he's going to have in the entire movie is with a kid, was a stroke of genius, because his way of acting with kids and his joy that he seems to get with it,
Well, see,
beautiful.
I thought the same thing when I watched Fate on yesterday morning.
Yeah.
The Jason Statham bit where he's rescuing the baby from the plane is just top tier.
Yep.
He's so fucking good when
that
he's
is
like
good,
getting that baby.
Yep.
And he just keeps like making little faces at him. It's like, and then he goes back to being a badass and shooting people in the face.
Yeah.
So yeah, the kid interactions in these are always quite good. But yeah, John Cena, I can't see him being dead. None of them are ever dead.
He's dead. Like Ian said, if he'd been in another movie between last one and this one, I think he'd have survived. Yeah. But it does feel like they've gone. Yeah, we need to actually kill one of them.
They can't appear in the very next one.
Yeah, there needs to be a bit. But then again, Ludacris, Tyrese Gibson, and Leslie Emmanuel will appear in the next one.
Oh God, yeah.
Because they'll have driven out of the cars that were in the back of that plane.
Or
at
they'll
the
have
last minute.
parachutes and jumped out. It could be as simple as that. Like you never see the plane crash.
Cars.
You see.
I will say,
Probably cars. Yeah.
I do kind of just need to see confirmation that like Ludacris and Natalie Emmanuel are actually a thing in this. Because they kind of allude to it a couple of times, but you've never actually seen them kiss.
Across like 3 movies, they allude to it as well.
They do. They're really cute together as well. Like they'd make a really cute nerd couple.
That's the thing. Like they're decent together as well. Just do it.
Do you think maybe they're just avoiding it because of the age difference?
It's
Is it not?
It's just like
11
they're
years.
a bit of a threesome, though, aren't they? But it's like they're not going. I mean, it would be great if they were just like we're in a 3-way relationship.
They're a throuple.
I mean, that would be great, but
it'd be very progressive of Uncle Ben.
And it's a progressive franchise in terms of the amount of the diversity in it, you know. So, I just thought it was really silly bollocks, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit.
Literally, if you could have told me I could have walked out and a ticket to go and see Fast 11 was 50 quid, I'd have slammed 50 quid down on the desk and gone, I'm off.
I'd have been tempted as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa is a really, really good baddie in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rita Moreno's in it.
Yeah. For a blinker, you'll miss it.
I mean, it is kind of weird how they got her. And it's like she was probably on set for maybe 2 days.
I think it was 1 day and they literally ate that meal.
It really, it really could have been 1 day.
Before I forget as well, one thing I do quite enjoy is how the Shaw family has just been wrapped into the fold and like Queenie's a thing.
Yeah.
I like her contribution to these movies.
I mean, Alan Richardson even comments on it, doesn't he? It's like they all become family. It's like this little cult. And that's I will say, it did trip me up. Maybe I'm a dum-dum. But, because I was thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. So, like, he's, like, just going to become one of the family as well. No. And it's, okay, all right, do you know what? Hats off, fair play. They sold that well, even though, to be fair, they sell it because there is zero indication that he's in league with Momoa because he spends his time seeming to either actively hunt Momoa and not know what Momoa is up to.
But I think you can get away with the
fact that... ruse.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't expect him to be...
Well, partly because he's such a non-entity in it. Like, he's not a hugely charismatic... He's not, like, a memorable character.
And he gets
where he's a bad guy.
He gets fucking attacked. He gets shot at like multiple fucking times.
Yeah.
And the whole like I said earlier on, Vin Diesel like somehow knowing they're going to get attacked, despite the fact that he can't possibly know where they even are. And Alan Richardson has no clue.
Yeah,
don't care. Definitely not shit.
It's been a real fucking journey, this whole rewatch. The word family has no meaning in my brain anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to a bit of a break before the new one comes out and I have to do another full rewatch.
Shout out to Scott Eastwood being cool with having his character be called Little Nobody.
He's real good, actually, in these.
I think he's alright as well. I'd be alright with him coming back in the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I like the fact... what I quite like about Scott Eastwood is he's no longer trying to be like a movie star. He's happy going, do you know what? I'm happy turning up in things and just walking around being Clint Eastwood's really fucking hot son.
Yeah, I'm never going to be Clint Eastwood. That's fine.
Yeah. but I'm also going to be able to snag any guy or girl that I want because look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not shit from me.
Yeah, definitely not shit.
Definitely enjoyed it.
Audience poll, definitely not shit, 30%.
Good for you.
Touching cloth, 20%, and shit,
Fuck you.
50%.
Fuck you.
Yes. So I asked some
I
questions.
will swear on my podcast, Lottie Loring. And I'm sorry to admit that to you.
So I
But you just got told off.
Sorry? Sorry. What's hard? Well, holding that football up? What? Sorry? That football's hard. Okay, babe. Alright. I'm going to get back to recording now, okay? Alright. If you don't want to hear me swear, go downstairs. Alright. Good stuff. Right. Sorry.
So I asked the question for our audience this week. Our question for this week is: you can bring back any deceased character from any film and add them to the Fast 11.
Fucking hell.
Dylan Black Lantern says Dracula from Bram Stoker's Dracula. I actually have a feeling that it was Momoa is playing anyway, but just in case it isn't, definitely Dracula as the only real logical place for the franchise to go. Bring on Fast 11 Dark Universe.
Can I make a request?
2 seconds. I'm reading these out, then you can do yours.
I know, but it's related to that one.
What?
Can it be Nick Cage's Dracula?
I mean, that can be yours.
Well, no, because it's the same answer.
Different. Bram Stoker's Dracula. From...
I'm not saying Nick Cage wrote Dracula.
No, from Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola one, I'm guessing he's meaning. Rick Kidd, slightly cheating as the actor is dead rather than the character, but I'd go for Burt Reynolds' Bandit from Smokey and the Bandit. That would be good if it turned out that he was like a fucking long lost cousin or something like that.
Yeah.
Ryan Giblin just sent us a gif of Stuntman Mike from Death Proof, which I think is a good shout. Becky, what would yours be?
Oh, God, I don't know. What's his face out of The Thing? We'll just have like a triple Kurt Russell banger.
We'll go Russell in there.
Yeah.
From The Thing?
The Thing, yeah.
McCready?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Jack Burton is dead, so you can't have him.
No, I was going to say Jack Burton, but yeah, he's not dead.
Ian.
Plissken also, not dead.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci
Ian.
and Goodfellas.
Right, is he a villain or is he part of the Toretto family?
He's part of the Toretto crew, just turns up in a Mini.
God, that'd be fucking beautiful.
No, go the other way. He turns up in just like the biggest fucking tank you've ever seen.
Yeah. What the fuck is going on here, Dominic?
What the fuck?
See, I put a clue to my answer in there, in the GIF for the question.
I didn't see it.
It's Ryan Gosling from Drive, Driver from Drive.
Sorry?
I like him to just turn up and just be as kind of just like acerbic as he is in Drive, and just Dom not be able to work it out.
You got me for
Still not
10
like
minutes. Well, what if I need you for 12? Can I just pay you some extra? You got me for 10 minutes. So, literally, it has to be 10 minutes or less. You've got me for 10 minutes. And then a real hero just starts playing diegetically in the moment. And it's like, right, okay, I suppose we go for it.
Bex tried to whip out to go to the bathrooms, but we do have some questions. Deal about Lanterns. I always love soundtrack cuts that feature cut-up samples of film dialogue, like the Bat Dance or the Art of Noise track over the credits of Dragnet. That's a good one, actually, that one. What random elements or quirks of films do you find oddly satisfying?
Wow-wee. Okay, The Legend of Zelda music in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Nice. I really like it when you either have just no fucking opening credits to a movie, or your opening credits, like fucking your title card comes in like fucking 40 minutes into the movie. That's a big fucking well played for me.
The multiple iterations on the Universal logo, you know, like Too Fast, Too Furious has a fucking insane one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That one actually, yeah. There's often little quirks of things that I like. A quirk that I think kind of needs to fuck off now though is post credit scenes.
Oh yeah,
Marvel movies can keep them because it's a thing that they, didn't start but have championed. But there, Bex is back, so I'm going to ask you this question, Bex, and repeat it. Philip Atlantis asked us, I always love the soundtrack cuts that feature cut-up samples of the film dialogue, like the Bat Dance or the Art of Noise track over the credits of Dragnet. What random elements or quirks of films do you find oddly satisfying?
Can I add Django to the soundtrack with dialogue one?
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Also Planes, Trains and Automobiles.
Yeah. Random elements or quirks. I love a good gun reload.
You do love a good gun reload, or a neck break.
A neck break as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, a good gun reload, whether it's like a pump action shotgun,
Yep.
or like the actual clip in,
Yep.
or like those shotguns you can get where they've got the handle that you pull like that.
Yeah.
Them as well. Always just really fucking good. Well handled guns in films. It's just a very like, oh, nice.
Do you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the pump action for the reload on the shotgun from T2 there did permanent nerve damage to his thumb because his thumb kept getting caught in it, but he thought it looked so cool
Looks real fucking
that he
cool.
kept on doing
Yeah.
it. And then it wasn't until after they finished doing all the shots that Cameron asked, why is your hand constantly bandaged up? And it was because it kept on cutting his hand and completely shredded all his nerves.
Totally worth it.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Slow-mo as well. Well handled slow-mo shots. No, it's fast and it goes slow, then it goes fast again.
Rick Kidd, after watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which is dire, by the way, what
Fully
other
expected.
children's character would you turn into a horror movie antagonist? I have a fucking belter of an answer for this.
Go on.
Right? Banana Man. Right? So what's happened is Banana Man has fallen on hard times, right? Because the cost of living crisis. He can no longer stay at Acacia Avenue because that's in fucking London. So he's been booted out because his whole place has been gentrified. So he can no longer afford the fucking rents there.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair.
So he's having to live like fucking miles away from London. So there's not as much crime there. So now he's not Banana Man anymore. He's Banana Bread Man.
Right.
Right? And he just goes around fucking killing people with banana bread. Just like bludgeoning them to death because he's fucking done with helping people.
I
'Cause
feel
that
like
makes
just
fucking
killing them
work.
with bananas would be more visually
Nope.
appealing.
Banana Bread Man.
Does he like force feed it to them? Or
No, he just has it in fucking tins. Doesn't so in the fucking loaf
In the
pans.
loaf pans.
And he's just going around a village just that he's now having a living that he hates, just smashing people's faces in.
It's a serial killer who just bashes people's faces in with tins.
Yeah.
Okay. You've worked on the backstory. I appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Fireman Sam, the pyromaniac who can only get an erection when he sets fire to buildings.
You've used this one before, I think.
I don't think I have.
I swear you used that one before for something else.
I don't think I have.
Wow.
I'd watch both of those. What's yours, Bex?
The Muppet Babies. They grow up into real angsty teenagers and go on
Boing, ring,
What's
bodies style fucking rampage.
No, because they're all shitty but essentially innocent children because Pete Davidson just smacks himself in the face with a knife. What's that Haneke movie? Like
Funny
Games
Games.
shit. Yeah,
They do funny games on people. That's dark, Becky.
yeah, that's what I want. But they're
Fucking
Muppets.
hell.
They're Muppet Babies. And they're animated, but the people that they're terrorising are real people.
That's dark.
What about the raccoons? But it's just
They're
a
all
bunch of
fucking
real
seeing.
life rabid raccoons, but they've all got shirts on. And every single time there's a massacre, that Come With Us song on the end credits plays.
Yep.
But slower.
Yeah.
Oh, that song's a
Like,
fucking...
like,
that song
like I got 5
fucking
on it style
slaps.
from us.
That song does fucking slap. Yeah. Yeah. My backup answer was Super Ted, but he's older and he's turning on massive paedophile. Because He always looked like he had the potential for that to happen.
I mean, so does Postman Pat, to be honest. I reckon Postman Pat's got some shit on his laptop.
I reckon Postman Pat's just a massive racist now. Yeah.
Postman Pat, the pipe bomb deliverer.
Jesus. Postman Pat, and he just comes across a load of anthrax.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
uses it.
Yeah. That's the way.
Fuck me. Anyway.
Right, so
Not bright and breezy.
what are we
now.
covering next week, Ian?
Right, so we are definitely covering Nazi killing man, Rare Exports director's new film Zizou. We may get to Hypnotic. We're not doing The Little Mermaid.
Is that the Ben Affleck one?
Yes.
Yes.
I have one night this week where I can go to the cinema. So, and that's actually even a maybe.
Yeah.
But we will be able to do Sisu.
Yes.
I'm so fucking look forward to Sisu. I've shown everyone I work with the trailer, even the guy that only started 2 days ago.
Old man Ian.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Right, well, thank you very much, Rebecca.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Go fuck yourself, Jason Reitman.
And thank you very much, dear listeners. And we shall speak to you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I enjoyed that.
I'm so psyched for Sisu.
Really, I'm a little bit...
Have you seen how he throws a landmine at
Yeah, he
someone?
does throw a landmine at someone. I'm kind of looking forward to that. If it's
How
anything
long
more
is
than
it?
92 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's anything more than 92 minutes, I'm a little bit worried.
So, you know.
I'm really glad we're not covering My Little Mermaid. My Little Mermaid. Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know why you keep calling it My Little Mermaid. It's really fucking confusing me.
Oh.
The
Sisu, 91 minutes.
Yes! Bring it on.
Yeah, My Little Mermaid can fuck itself. I did that as a joke.
No, you didn't.
I did.
I'll watch it sometime because Donna and Lottie both want to watch it, so I'll give it a pop. But yeah, I'm glad we're not main reviewing it.
This part of me wants to watch it to just like.
I might just buy a ticket and not go.
Hey,
Buy
look.
a ticket, I mean...
I really want the
silly load of ticket.
racists to just fuck off. So there is that element to it, but
Nobody's
not
talking
even-
about it.
I'm not even keen on the animated one. Like, it's the weakest out of that crop of animated ones.
It'll be on Disney Plus in like July, August. You know, it'll be unless they hold it for Disney Plus Day, but I doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to go Guardians on Disney Plus Day.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Or Elemental. Anyway. Right, I'm going to watch the PlayStation showcase and see if they announce anything good.
Have a lovely time.
Have fun, bud. Cheers for that, man.
Nice one. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.